animated English story. Today's story will take you into a world of mystery, time, and destiny. A strange clock, a hidden secret, and a future that changed everything. Watch till the end because this story may change the way you see your own life. Now, let's move to today's amazing story. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Animated English Story.
Ryan pushed open the heavy wooden door of time and hope. A sharp chime cut through the rhythmic ticking of hundreds of clocks. Mr. Benjamin sat at his desk, his long brown coat draped over his shoulders. He adjusted his glasses, his eyes fixed on the boy. Ryan leaned against a shelf, dripping rainwater. He pulled a crumpled exam paper from his pocket and laid it on the counter. The red F was smudged by the dampness, a silent mark of failure. Mr. Benjamin slid the paper aside. He reached under the counter and pulled out an old, tarnished pocket watch with a cracked glass face. He placed it in Ryan's palm. The watch was silent. "This watch stopped 30 years ago," Mr. Benjamin said. He pointed to a small, hidden lever. "It does not need a battery. It needs a reason to move." Ryan stared at the dial. His hands shook as he found the lever and pushed it upward. A sharp click echoed. The second hand jerked once, then began a steady, rhythmic sweep. Ryan looked up, his breathing finally slowing down. Ryan stepped into the rain, the watch clutched tightly. His pace quickened with every tick. In the shadows of the shop, a massive black clock sat under a dusty cloth. "What is that?" Ryan asked. Mr. Benjamin's face hardened, his knuckles turning white as he gripped his desk. "That clock is not for sale," he rasped. "It is dangerous. It shows a person their future." Ryan ignored the warning, his fingers twitching with a desperate need to know. "Please," he begged. The old man sighed, pulling the cloth away to reveal polished silver and hands spinning in reverse. Ryan pressed his palm to the cold glass. Instantly, the lights died. Every clock in the room began to chime in a deafening, chaotic roar. Vivid images burned into his mind. He saw himself years later, slumped in a dim, filthy apartment. Empty bottles littered the floor, and a cracked mirror reflected a man with hollow, hopeless eyes. Ryan pulled his hand back, gasping for air as the silence returned to the shop. The rain lashed against the window like gravel. He looked at Mr. Benjamin, searching for a sign of a lie, but the old man stood motionless. The vision of his gaunt, ruined face remained seared into his soul. Ryan stumbled back against the cold stone. The air shimmered, revealing his mother pale in a hospital bed, then his own face twisted in rage as he slammed doors on friends. Finally, a deafening void swallowed everything. He collapsed, gasping for air. "No, this cannot be my life," he choked out. Mr. Benjamin looked on with sorrow. "The future is not a prison," the old man said firmly. "It is a path you are currently paving. Every second is a choice." Ryan clutched a silver watch, its metal cold against his palm. Sleep refused to come as the void haunted his dreams. Tick, tick, tick. At dawn, Ryan pushed his distractions aside and gripped his pen until his knuckles turned white. Weeks blurred into a fever of study and work. When his strength faltered, he pressed the silver watch. The steady pulse of the gears became his heartbeat, forcing him to keep moving, keep building, and never look back. He walked into his mother's room with flowers, no longer a ghost of the future. He stopped blaming the world. With every ticking second, he was finally building a life worth living. Years passed in a blur of late-night study sessions and relentless discipline. Ryan finally gripped his scholarship acceptance letter, his ticket out of the city. On his last evening, he walked down the familiar, narrow street to visit the old clock shop, his thumb tracing the smooth silver watch. He arrived at the corner, but his footsteps faltered. The shop was gone. In its place stood a dilapidated building, its windows boarded up and thick layers of dust coating the door. Ryan spun around, desperately searching for the faded sign he knew so well. Everything had changed. A woman on a nearby bench watched him. "Are you looking for the clock shop?" she asked. "Yes." "Where is Mr. Benjamin?" Ryan demanded. The woman frowned. "Son, that shop closed over 30 years ago. The owner passed away long before that." Ryan stood motionless. He pulled the watch from his pocket. It pulsed against his palm, the second hand sweeping forward with a rhythmic, steady click. it was still ticking. Years later, under blinding spotlights, Ryan held the watch high. "Your future is built by the choices you make today," he told the crowd. Late at night, he would wind the watch, hearing echoes of gears turning in a shop that time had long forgotten. The shop was a suffocating maze of grinding gears and swaying pendulums. Ryan moved past a massive grandfather clock, its rhythmic ticking echoing against the rain-slicked windows. He pushed the heavy wooden door, and a sharp brass bell announced his arrival into the dim, dusty workshop. Mr. Benjamin sat hunched under a single flickering lamp. With trembling hands, Ryan approached the counter, where a dark silver clock lay hidden. The old man pulled away the velvet cloth, revealing hands that swept backward, defying time itself. "Place your hand on the clock," the old man commanded. Ryan pressed his palm against the cold metal. Instantly, the shop light shattered into total darkness. The air vibrated with the deafening roar of 1,000 ticking springs. In a blinding flash, he saw a future version of himself. He was sitting in a derelict apartment, surrounded by shattered glass and a crushing silence. This older Ryan was gaunt, his eyes hollow and devoid of hope. The weight of his failures had become a permanent physical shadow. Ryan stumbled back, hitting a shelf as the ticking stopped abruptly. He stared at his shaking hands, the vision burned into his mind. From the shadows, the old man watched in silence, his expression unreadable as the rain continued to fall.